Hello and welcome to South Asia Today, a show that provides you the glimpses of South Asia. I'm your host, Shivangi Mishra. Let's begin with the headlines first. India's economy drives unprecedented growth in electronics. Unexpected snowstorm harms Afghan fruit trees. And fish farmers in Gilgit-Baltistan struggle to earn livelihood. Let's begin the show with the unprecedented surge in India's economy. A surge that's propelling exponential growth in the consumer electronics market. As the economy flourishes, so does the demand for smart home gadgets, skyrocketing to new heights. This unprecedented expansion is fueled by the ascent of disposable incomes, rapid technological advancements, and the burgeoning middle class, cementing India's prominent position in the global electronics arena. We have this report.
The burgeoning consumer electronics industry in India marks a pivotal stage in country's economic journey, marked by a swift uptake in both the demand for and manufacturing of electronic products. This surge mirrors India's growing middle class, rapid urbanization, and strides in technology, cementing its position as one of the globe's most dynamic hubs for consumer electronics. Meet the Arora family, renowned for their unwavering focus on convenience and efficiency. Simi Arora, a housewife, efficiently manages household chores on modern appliances, thereby conserving valuable time. Meanwhile, her son Samir, who works from home, seamlessly transitions between his laptop and mobile phone to stay connected with colleagues throughout the day.
मतलब मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि आजकल कंज्यूमर ड्यूरेबल आइटम्स तो काफ़ी ज़रूरी चीज़ हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ मतलब अगर मैं अपनी बात करूँ तो मेरा फ़ोन के बिना आज डेट में गुजारा नहीं है। मैं इंडिया के किसी भी कोने में यहीं पे बैठे बैठे पैसे भेज सकता हूँ थ्रू UPI।
Consumer electronics demand in India's Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities is also on the rise due to increasing disposable incomes, improved infrastructure, and the penetration of e-commerce platforms. Residents in these cities are increasingly able to afford smartphones, TVs, laptops, and home appliances. The availability of digital services and aspirational consumption patterns also contribute to this trend. In today's hyper-connected era, consumers expect electronic gadgets to seamlessly blend innovation with reliability.
हाँ, मैंने RO परचेज़ किया है यहाँ से कैंट का एंड उसका बेसिक रीज़न ये है आजकल काफ़ी कॉन्टामिनेटेड वाटर आ रहा है, हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम्स उससे होती हैं, तो वही वाटर प्यूरिफिकेशन के लिए वो परचेज़ किया है। उसमें भी लेटेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी है प्यूरिफिकेशन की, तो जिससे हेल्थ बेनिफिट्स भी रहते हैं इसलिए।
अब देखिएगा हर मंथ मॉडल्स नए लॉन्च हो जाते हैं, उसमें कुछ ना कुछ चेंजिंग्स होती हैं। अब पहले देखिएगा कि आप मोबाइल्स की ही बात करते हैं, मोबाइल्स में देखिए आज के टाइम में हम लोग 8 GB रैम और 25 GB रोम के 256 रोम के साथ अब हम मोबाइल यूज़ करना शुरू कर दिया है। पहले लोगों ने कभी सोचा भी नहीं था, MBs में यूज़ होती थी। अब आप देखिए कैमरा, आपके 100 मेगापिक्सल्स के कैमरा आने शुरू हुए हैं, जिनकी आप पिक्चर क्लैरिटी की अगर आप बात करेंगे तो वो लगभग आपको एक महंगे कैमरे के बराबर की फ़ोटो क्लिक करके देते हैं। आप टीवीज़ में बात कीजिए, टीवीज़ के अंदर एक नई टेक्नोलॉजी OLED ऑर्गेनिक LEDs के नाम से लॉन्च हुई है। तो आप देखिए पीछे जो टीवीज़ में पहले बल्ब लगाने पड़ते थे, हमें LEDs लगानी पड़ती थी, वो उस टीवी में ज़रूरत नहीं है, उसके पिक्सल्स खुद ही लाइट जनरेट कर देते हैं।
As India's economy experiences an unprecedented surge, it propels exponential growth in the consumer electronics market. This remarkable expansion solidifies India's prominent position in the global electronics arena, promising a future of innovation and opportunity.
In Afghanistan's Maidan Bardak province, residents of a small village are reeling from the aftermath of an unexpected snowfall and plummeting temperatures. This unseasonable weather has wreaked havoc on their once thriving fruit trees, now in full bloom, leaving them devastated. This catastrophe has not only robbed approximately 2,000 households of their primary source of income, but has also dealt a severe blow to the local economy.
In a small village nestled in the Afghan countryside, a thin layer of snow covers the fields where once thriving fruit trees stood. However, these orchards have now been devastated by heavy snowfall, leaving nearly 2,000 families facing significant financial losses. Heartbroken Afghan gardeners gathered to survey the wreckage of their once flourishing orchards. They mourn the loss of their fruit trees, which were in full bloom, before being ravished by the unanticipated snowfall and plummeting temperatures. Gula Jan, a 54-year-old farmer with apricot and apple orchards, expresses his despair over the loss of his family's sole source of income due to the snowfall. He urges Afghan authorities to assist the affected farmers.
متر بارندگی رو ما در طول 53 سال ندیدم. دی وقت سال بذار که دی وقت گل زردالو، وقت گل سیب و گلاس، همه کل گوسلات ما رو بذار کل گل بین بود. او بذار دیم قدم میلیمیست که بذار خسارمان شدیم زیاد. نمی نفقه اولاد ما بودیم، می نفقه ما بودی رو بین بود.
The unexpected snowfall during the blossom season has resulted in the destruction of hundreds of apple, apricot and cherry trees. Farmers are now faced with the daunting task of cutting away the damaged branches in an effort to salvage what remains. Mohammad Saleem, a 53-year-old farmer, laments the loss of hope brought by the blossoming trees, which were their only source of sustenance. He recounts the hard work put into cultivating the orchards, only to see everything lost to the snowstorm. Climate change experts warn that such snowfall during the blossom season poses a serious threat to the livelihoods of farmers in the province. They highlight the lack of awareness among local communities about international forecasts and warnings, exacerbating the challenges faced by the population.
مردم ما بیشتر در کنار رودخانه‌ها زندگی میکنن و آگاهی کمتر به پیشبینی ها و هشداری دهی های بین‌المللی و ادارات داخلی کشور دارن. از این جهت مردم ما بسیار زیاد منتظر میشه. شما دیدیم که نه تنهایی که خسارات جانی بر مردم وارد میشه، بلکه خسارات که از درک از بین رفتن باغ‌هایشان، از بین رفتن زمین‌های زراعتیشان برشان وارد میشه بسیار زیاد انگفت.
As these families grapple with the daunting task of rebuilding what they have lost, the road ahead is fraught with challenges.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch.
With a week-long heatwave sweeping across Bangladesh, pet shops in the capital Dhaka were seen doing what they could do to cool their animals down. The severe heatwave has seen temperatures climb above 43 degrees Celsius on Monday. In such extreme heat, animals could be susceptible to heat stroke. Pet shop owners in Dhaka's Katabo, the main pet market in the country, were seen spraying water on the animals and birds to help lower their body temperature. Staff at the pet shops also frequently provided the animals with electrolyte drinks and hydrating food. Some shops, barely 30 square feet on average, had installed extra fans and switched off indoor lighting to keep the place dark and cool. A shop owner said that unlike the market's regular opening schedule, these shops open for up to 16 hours a day to take care of the pets. Temperatures in southwest Bangladesh have remained high for over a week without any sign of storm or rain, an unusual change in weather according to experts. While schools in Bangladesh are shut till May 2nd, unless the heat dissipates. A Pakistani shipping vessel carrying drugs worth $71 million was seized by the Indian authorities in their waters last week, according to the nation's Narcotics Control Bureau. The Deputy Director General of the Narcotics Control Bureau, Gyaneshwar Singh, said contraband including 86 kilograms of methamphetamine and heroin was seized from the vessel. Footage released by the Indian Coast Guard showed the vessel being surrounded and circled by a ship from the Gujarat Anti-Terrorist Squad and detainees with bags over their heads being led off their vessel. The ATS was alerted to intelligence of the vessel on April 21 and has been engaged in a search and seizure operation since then. India has previously alleged that its neighbouring country Pakistan fosters drug cartels to operate cross-border networks. Visitors to the Tokyo Metropolitan Government No. 1 building watched in awe as a 100-meter-tall Godzilla was projected on the building last week. The display marks the 70th anniversary since the birth of the fictional monster, who is also a tourism ambassador to Shinjuku Ward, a district of the Japanese capital. The radioactive monster is part of a projection mapping project at the capital's City Hall, which has been taking place since February 25, 2024. Officials started projecting Godzilla on Saturday as part of efforts by the capital to entice more tourists to Shinjuku Ward, home to the Tokyo Metropolitan Government and one of the biggest nightlife spots in Tokyo. Spectators will be able to see the digital Godzilla 3 times a day on Japanese national holidays and on weekends through May 6.
In Gilgit-Baltistan, the aftermath of the October 2022 floods has brought devastation and despair. Despite promises, the government's inaction has left residents grappling to rebuild their livelihoods, particularly in the crucial sectors of trout fish farming and tourism. Frustration mounts as officials fail to deliver on assistance, leaving communities stranded without compensation or support. Amidst broken promises, hope for progress in this illegally occupied region remains distant. We have a report.
The floods in October 2022 have left a trail of disaster in the illegally occupied territory of Gilgit-Baltistan. In absence of any compensation or help from the administration, the residents of the affected regions are struggling to rebuild their washed-away fish farms and livelihoods. Interestingly, trout fish farming and tourism emerged as promising sectors among the locals, offering a glimmer of hope for the region's revival. But the apathetic government officials turned a blind eye to this potential lifeline, neglecting its development altogether. Frustrated with the lack of action, the residents complain that although the officials had surveyed the flood damage back in 2022, there has been no tangible assistance or support from the administration till date.
2022 जो सैलाब आया था जुलाई में, उसमें काफ़ी सारे फार्म यहाँ हमारे ख़राब हुए थे. कुल मिला के इस्कोमन, शेरकिला, सिंगुल, अच्छा बीरगल और उसके अलावा जो जुगरोट गुरु है उधर ये मिला के कोई 22 फार्म हमारे सैलाब में वो बह गए थे, उनका नुकसान हुआ था माली. गवर्नमेंट ने आगे सर्वे किया, सब कुछ उसका फाइल भी बन गया है, लेकिन अभी तक हमें कुछ भी नहीं मिला है. तो फार्मर्स बहुत सख्त परेशान है, वो अपना दोबारा अपना फार्म बनाना चाहते हैं, लेकिन सरमाया न होने की वजह से बहुत मसाइल का शिकार हैं. अगर बैंक से हम लोन लेने की कोशिश करते हैं तो तकरीबन 27-28%, 30% के हिसाब से लोन मिलता है. उतना ज़्यादा हम वो अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते.
The residents also revealed that the administration had plans to build cold storage chains and support their businesses, but now they realize it was a mere hogwash. They believe the unclear policies of the administration and the lack of basic infrastructure is curtailing their development.
सुनने में आया था कि एक कोल्ड स्टोरेज बनेगी, एक चेन बन रहा है इस्लामाबाद में, गागुज में, गिलगित में, लेकिन उसका अभी तक कुछ पता नहीं है। हमने सुना था कि इस तरह का एक कोई प्लान हुकूमत बना रही है कोल्ड चेन में, फिर वो आगे इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट का भी सोच रहे थे, एक्सपोर्ट करने का भी। तो अभी तक उसका कोई पता नहीं है और नहीं हमें कोई फीड कीमत में कुछ दिया है। पहले कुछ देते थे, 2-3 साल पहले 1-2 बैग फीड मिल जाते थे, लेकिन अभी ये है कि बिल्कुल वो भी जाम।
Gilgit-Baltistan was illegally occupied by Pakistan 7 decades ago. Since then, the locals have remained the victims of Islamabad's draconian policies and enduring regular subjugation. The local administration, working at the behest of Islamabad, ensures that the region witnesses no growth and development.
Moving on. A school in Doda, Jammu breaks new ground with a drone competition, pioneering engineering culture and scientific curiosity among the school students. During the event, several students showcased their skills in various challenges, highlighting their potential as future innovators. With a focus on STEM education, the schools in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir foster a culture of innovation, evident in students securing patents and excelling in drone technology. This initiative aligns with the National Education Policy 2020, propelling Kashmiri youth towards impactful contributions in the field of science and technology. Take a look.
To foster a culture of engineering at school level and to cultivate the scientific temperament, a school in Doda, Jammu organized a unique event, ICAR US 24, a drone war competition. The event marked the inaugural edition of such a competition ever held at any school in the country. A total of 6 teams comprising 33 students participated in the event and showcased their drone maneuvering skills and technical acumen in the modern technology.
हम लोगों ने 2023 में इस प्रोग्राम में एनरोल किया था, जहाँ पे हम लोगों के स्कूल में शुभम सर आए थे, हमारे जो मेंटोर है, हमारे जो टीचर हैं, वो एक प्रोग्राम लेके आए थे ड्रोन वॉर्स। इसका पहले एक प्रेजेंटेशन हुआ था, फिर उस प्रेजेंटेशन में हम लोग को सब कुछ बताया गया था, जैसे कि इसमें क्या होता है, इसका फायदा क्या है और इसमें हम लोग क्या क्या चीजें कर सकते हैं, इसका हमारे देश का क्या फायदा होगा। इससे हम लोगों को पता चलता है कि हमारे जो अंदर की जो उत्सुकता है इस ड्रोन को बनाने के लिए, कंप्यूटर में उलझने के लिए, ये हमारी बहुत ज्यादा है।
There were multiple rounds of display, knockout races, drone presentation, reaction races, and many other activities. All in all, the event saw an enthusiastic participation of young scientists, innovators, and entrepreneurs who had themselves assembled their drones and planned their strategies to win the competition.
ड्रोन की बात करें तो बच्चों के लिए वो एक सिर्फ फ्लाइंग ऑब्जेक्ट की तरह होता था, गेम की तरह खेलते थे। बट अगर आप यहाँ जिन भी बच्चों से मिलेंगे, उन्हें शायद बहुत सारे इंडस्ट्री एक्सपर्ट्स के जितना ये पता होगा कि वो ड्रोन को कैसे बना सकते हैं, ड्रोन के अंदर टेक्नोलॉजी क्या यूज होती है, वो कौन कौन सी जगह पर यूज हो सकता है, वो क्या क्या फैसिलिटीज लोगों की लाइफ कैसे इजी कर सकता है। एंड ये वो लोग आज सीख रहे हैं, जो कि हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि हमारे इंडस्ट्री में वो काम हो। और अब तो आप समझिए जब ये 10 साल आगे पहुंचेंगे तो ये कितने इक्विप्ड होंगे और ये कितने आगे इस चीज को लेकर जाएंगे।
The school is known for its culture of innovation and a robust STEM education. The school's innovation hub takes pride in the achievements of its students, some of whom have already secured British and Indian patents for their inventive ideas and prototypes.
ड्रोन आप समझ सकते हैं इंडिया के अंदर एक अलग लेवल पे पहुंच गया है, अलग उसकी डिमांड स्टार्ट हो चुकी है। ड्रोन टैक्सी से लेकर ड्रोन फिल्म मेकिंग से लेकर देर आर टेक्नोलॉजी लेवल पे देर आर मे बी 20 वर्टिकल जहाँ पे ड्रोन से काम चल रहा है। एंड हमारा पॉइंट ये है कि बच्चों को इस इंडस्ट्री के बारे में, इस कंसेप्ट के बारे में राइट फ्रॉम देयर अर्ली पॉइंट, मे बी ग्रेड 5-6 से पता लगे कि इनके पास कुछ प्रोस्पेक्ट है, टेक्नोलॉजी लेवल पे क्या सीख सकते हैं, क्या कर सकते हैं, और करियर ऑप्शन इसके बारे में पता लगे। एंड दिस इज व्हाट वी रियली वांट टू डू।
The students here are given a holistic platform not only to experiment with the scientific technology but also to budget, seek sponsorships, design the merchandise and pitch their products to their prospective giants in the new technology. The principal Grish Kumar expressed pride in his students' achievements, revealing that they had meticulously assembled drones from the chip level to the final product.
आने वाले समय में ड्रोन की काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंस बढ़ने वाली सोसाइटी में, चाहे वो लॉजिस्टिक्स सेक्टर देख लीजिए, चाहे वो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन देख लीजिए, चाहे वो डिफेंस सेक्टर देख लीजिए, चाहे वो एग्रीकल्चर देख लीजिए, मेडिसिन सेक्टर देख लीजिए। आजकल लोग एयर टैक्सीज की बात करने लग गए हैं, तो ड्रोन्स के लिए अनलिमिटेड फ्यूचर है। तो हमको लगा कि बच्चों को सही समय पर सही एक्सपोजर अगर मिले तो ड्रोन्स को हमें इंट्रोड्यूस करना चाहिए। तो हमारे बच्चों ने जब हमने ड्रोन्स को इंट्रोड्यूस किया, हमारा पर्पस था कि बच्चों को राइट फ्रॉम असेंबली ऑफ द ड्रोन टू मैन्यूवरिंग ऑफ द ड्रोन, सो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग टू मैन्यूवरिंग का हमारा एम था। जो हमारे बच्चे आज इस ड्रोन को खुद मैन्युफैक्चर कर रहे हैं, चिप लेवल तक जाकर वो उसको असेंबल कर रहे हैं और उसको अगर खराब हो रहा है तो रिपेयर भी कर रहे हैं।
The introduction of STEM education by the National Education Policy 2020 has served as a catalyst for the growth and advancement of young minds in the Union Territory. The government is actively investing in enhancing the quality of education across academic institutions in Jammu and Kashmir to support the aspirations of budding scientists. The talented youth in Kashmir are pushing the boundaries of innovation, and they are poised to make tangible contributions in the lives of people in the Union Territory and the whole nation.
Now it's time for me to wrap up today's episode. We'll be back next week at the same time. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of the entire production team of South Asia Today. Goodbye and take care.